Hello everybody and welcome to KartRider Drift's closed beta. We just started today, so I am super excited. I was able to get into the game and play a little bit earlier, but I wanted to wait, run through all of this with you guys. I'm so happy, so excited for the things that are happening. For anybody that doesn't know, my name is Liltia. I'm the community manager here for KartRider Drift, and let's get this show on the road. As we're going through doing stuff, please let me know if either my mic volume or the in-game volume is too high, too low. I can always adjust it as needed. I don't want to be blaring out your eardrums or anything like that. So how it's going to work, I'm going to run through the new content, the new features, the new cool things that we're introducing to KartRider Drift for this closed beta. We did have one in December. The dev team has been hard at work. They made so many improvements that I want to share with you guys. I've got chat up, which means that feel free to ask me questions in chat. I will be paying attention back and forth throughout the stream a couple of times. I'm also going to be giving away beta codes on Twitch and Mixer. So if you're following us on the KartRider Drift Twitch or Mixer account, a few times during the stream, I'm going to give out some codes for Xbox, Steam, and Nexon Launcher. But you can still sign up. We still have signups going. The beta doesn't end until June 10th. And you're able to register for the beta until June 8th. So if you like what you see on the stream and you haven't signed up, you don't have a key yet, feel free to, enter the giveaways that we do during Twitch, during the stream, but also sign up KartRiderDrift.com. So the first cool thing that we're doing is we've got login events. So every day that you log in, you get to try out a new item cart. So this first one for the celebration is the Turbo Tortoise, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I can't turn him around quite yet, but he's got a kick-ass eye patch over there, and item carts, they do have different functions. So for this one, upgrades item mode boosters to Tortoise Booster, which is kind of fun. So because I got this, I'm gonna hit OK, hop into the lobby right here. Couple of questions. Game is crashing as soon as I click play. So, Chaos, what platform are you on? We're trying to troubleshoot a couple of different things. One known crash that we have is if you're on Steam and you have a DualShock controller hooked up, that'll cause your game to crash. So the first thing, if that is your problem, I don't know if it is or not, but if that is your problem, please disconnect the DualShock controller and see if the game will load up that way. Alright, so I've already changed my character. Diz is new character. So in the first beta, we will all pop open the garage. In the first beta, all we had were Dow, Bozzy, and Brody. Kind of like a classic 3. For this one, we've actually introduced Diz. So we have Diz now. I think that she is adorable, especially her skins, which we'll look at a little bit later. And I love customizing, so to be able to choose different outfits, different characters, different emotes. So again, pop up Diz, she's just got 2 base emotes, her victorious and her sad. This is the same for all the characters. So this is poor Diz when she's sad, and nobody wants to be sad. But you can unlock other ones through the Racing Pass. So the Racing Pass is new for this closed beta. You can see that I was playing a little bit earlier. I'm already up to Tier 2. There's 2 lanes for a Racing Pass. If you've seen any sort of a Season Pass in other games, it works really similar. There's the free, which as you unlock the different tiers, you get different items like a balloon, XP. But then there's also the premium lane. And here we have, carts. We got different emotes. For this beta, it's a beta. You're not going to be spending any money. All you have to do is unlock the premium lane. You unlock the premium lane to get extra rewards. So you tap it again. Because I've made it up to Tier 2 already, here's what I've unlocked. I've unlocked the Proto and I've unlocked, Angry Dow. Because sometimes... Here we go. Is Angry Dow not doing it? Nope. Sometimes you just want to be angry, and this is just one more cart that I can use. So that's kind of cool. this is just kind of to see how you guys like the race pass. So let us know, Discord forums. You can look through all the different things that they have, different carts, which again, they'll tell you what the function is if they're an item cart like Ace. They'll preview what the different emotes look like. You've got these boosters. So if you want to customize, what the booster looks like, you can have it different colors, different effects. Going through, some other carts. You got Starburst. Starburst is another new cart that we've got coming in this time. Where's license plate? So if you want to change up how the back of your cart looks like with a little license plate, you've got that. I kind of showed the balloon earlier. Here's some skins. Hipster Brody is probably one of my favorite. I like Brody. This one just is super cute. Plus, who doesn't like a mustache? All right. So you can see that's just kind of how this works. So I definitely recommend people, you go ahead, you unlock the premium lane. Again, it's completely free. All you have to do is click that button a couple of times, but it also helps out with your challenges. So there's a couple of different types of challenges. The first is a daily challenge, and this resets every day at 5 o'clock Pacific. So a little bit of conversion, but 5 Pacific, which I think is midnight UTC. Check out our frequently asked questions. We've got it posted a couple of different places, but this will reset, and it'll give you a little countdown right here to let you know how long it's going to be before it resets. So you've got 3 challenges that you can do every day. When you unlock the premium lane and the racing pass, you also unlock premium challenges, and you can see when they're going to unlock. Obviously the closed beta isn't going to be going for 60 days. It ends next week, but you can kind of see how it's going to work. And when you click on whichever week, so this is week 1, it'll show you the different challenges that you have to complete and how many trophies you're going to get. And these trophies will help you to unlock the different tiers in the race pass. So it's kind of cool. They're not particularly difficult. Unlock 4 carts. You just play and you're going to unlock the different carts. Land 3 or block 3 missile attacks in item mode. Drive for 30 minutes. You'll get that usually just by playing without really needing to change what it is that you're doing. Sorry, I keep looking over just to make sure that there are no questions, but feel free to ask me the questions because I am paying attention to the chat. So those are just a couple of fun things that were added. So what I'm going to do now is you can go here, select your mode. I'm just going to do item, everyone. We'll see. Actually, we'll do item solo for right now. And then we're going to hit play and we'll go into a match because I want to show you guys what's happening with the UI changes. One thing from the last beta that we heard from players is that the in-game UI when you were trying to race wasn't necessarily the best. So we talked about this a while ago. We had a dev blog where the development team talked about some of the changes that they were making. One of which is really cool is they took that little booster gauge and they flattened it. And they made it much easier to see everything that was happening on the screen without your eyes needing to go everywhere. They did some really cool with some focus group testing, some really amazing tracking of the eyes to see where players were looking to make sure they were focusing in on what it is they were looking for. So I'm going to play a game. You'll notice I play with a controller. I play on a PC. I play through the Nexon launcher, but I still love my controller. So I'll be using the controller. Doesn't matter which one. Some people like controller, some people like keyboard. You can see here by the different icons. Some people are on PC, the little Nexon logo. Got an Xbox. That's a cool feature about crossplay is that it doesn't really matter which platform you're on. You'll be able to meet up with people not just on different platforms, but across the world, globally potentially too. So Twitchy Rider wants to know, can we bind mouse clicks? Last I heard at this time, no. So you can rekey or rebind your keys. I have a tendency instead of up, down, left, right arrows, I like WASD, but it has to be on the keyboard. So you can't bind like drift or item swap onto your mouse. You can find it other places on the keyboard if that makes it easier. Again, I use WASD when I play on keyboard. I'm much more comfortable with that. And then I'll rebind it to, I think it's either Shift and Control on the right side or the arrow keys. So one thing you want to do right at the start, you kind of saw 3, 2, 1, go. As soon as it hit go, hit your accelerator key, and that'll give you a nice little speed boost at the beginning. It'll help you go from maybe like towards the front of the pack, which could be good or bad as I keep missing every item following directly behind people, versus the back of the pack. Let's see, can I get one? No! I'm gonna play item mode without actually grabbing any items. I just want to see what's gonna happen. Oh, I got one. Nice. So this is my missile, which somebody else very nicely crashed into the barricade for me. But the missile, you can kind of choose who it is you want and then shoot them. So managed one attack. Ooh, I got another missile. Missile's really kind of nice. Because again, you can choose who it is that you want. So it could be the person right in front of you. It could be somebody a little bit further. Obviously somebody behind me decided that they wanted to hit me with the missile. That happens too. Not really too much you can do about it. So we're gonna grab another one, the magnet. Magnet's nice when you're far behind. You select somebody. This is again another one that's selectable. Maybe not the best place to do it, but it is selectable. And then you go through and it'll kind of pull you towards them. You can also use it the opposite way and have it so that you slow somebody down. So let's say you use the magnet and then they went and got hit by something, or you got hit by something. Somebody's using a magnet on you and then you ended up getting hit by something. Well, all you have to do is that'll slow them down, because now there's nobody in front of them, or at least not as much in front of them. But yeah. Oh, UI things. Supposed to be talking about the UI, and here I am talking about the items because I like item mode so much. So one thing that's new, down in the bottom left, which unfortunately is a little bit blocked, so I might need to adjust that. That's a rear view camera. So you can see people that come up behind you, and you can kind of like adjust, notice, oh, they're coming. Gotta watch out for them. You also might have seen sometimes when I use my items, in the top right corner, there was another box up there. That's for when you shoot an item and you can't necessarily see the player. You can see if it hits, if it misses, stuff like that. So we have a question. Yes, the beta is allowed to be streamed by users, so I encourage everybody to go out, stream it. If you're on our Discord, if you're on, Twitter, you can add us. Discord, share your stream. There's a channel for sharing streams. I personally love watching streamers, so hopefully you guys are streaming. You let me know different places, forums, Discord, so that I can come in and watch you. Right, so just checking back on the questions. Yep, so somebody asked to show us gameplay. I was just doing that. I'll be going back and forth between kind of showing things in the garage, showing gameplay, hopefully keeping you guys amused, letting you see all the different things that are happening, the really cool things that are new for this beta. So I think we're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to do a beta key giveaway. So last time we had time attack. It's for single player. I guess I'll rewind just a little bit. Most of the modes, single and item, they're multiplayer. So it's going to be 8 versus 8, whether in your teams or in solo, it's 8 versus 8. We do have a couple of single player modes. One of them is time attack. Time attack is a lot of fun. You choose a track and you challenge yourself, kind of like a ghostly version of yourself, to see if you can get a faster time. So it's a great way to practice on a track. And because you're challenging the ghost version of yourself that had the fastest time so far, you can kind of see what you did differently the first time around, especially if you're kind of like falling behind, Or you can be like, oh, I've improved in this respect because I'm now doing better than I was last time around. But the awesome thing that they introduced just for this, based off of player feedback from the first beta, is Racing School. So Racing School is just what it says here. It lets you hone your kart driving skills and learn how to use items. So if you click on Racing School, it's going to bring up a couple of different things. There's the tutorial, which I've already done. As soon as you load into the game, it goes over your basic controls, how to move, how to reset, how to drift. If you feel like you need a refresher, you can always go back to that. Then, once you've graduated from that, you're actually in the game now. You've got two different, I'm going to say, difficulty levels. You've got the beginner and you've got intermediate that you can go through. And it'll tell you what it is that you do. So the first one, just using a boost. So once you have that nitro boost, you've gotten it through either item mode or you've gotten it through drifting. How do you use it? Then selecting items. How you switch the items back and forth. Which key do you use? How do you use it? It'll show you a preview video like that. And then you'll go hit enter, click on it. I think it's the A key on the controller. Yeah, if you hit the A key on the controller, so we'll do using boost. You hit the A key on the controller. That's going to start the Racing School, whatever segment it is that you wanted to play. It gives you a little bit more of a description what it's about. The boost can be used to give a burst of speed. The button that you want to use, control for keyboard, the B button for the controller. Hit your A button. Now use the boost to reach the finish line within the time limit. So now it tells you what it is you need to do. You've got a stock character. You go through, you pick up the item, you use it, and it's still reminding you, don't forget, you have to reach it. Woohoo! I finished the lesson. And then you can go on to the next lesson, or you can close if you don't want to move on. So we'll just kind of close it out. But especially for people that are new to KartRider Drift, this is an awesome tool to get you a little bit more of the basics than the tutorial just gave you, especially when it comes to drifting. So drifting is one of those games, or one of those things that's easy to do but hard to master, because it works a little bit differently than you might think from other racing games that you've played. When you drift, you want to hold the drift key and you want to let it go before the drift is done. So let's say you're drifting around a corner. You want to let it go maybe about like the halfway point and then kind of like counter steer to correct your kart. You don't actually want to hold the drift key throughout the entire drift, because that could make it a little bit more likely that you're going to overdrift and then just drift yourself right into a wall, which I have done so many times it is not even funny. So you go through, you can finish up your beginner, jump drift, drifting, boost gauge, couple more. So it's definitely worthwhile, especially for players that are new or maybe a little bit rusty if you haven't played in a while, or you just don't really remember what the controls do, to go through the Racing School. Finish that up. All right, and I think at that point, this is a good time to stop and give out some beta codes. So let's say we're going to give out some Xbox. I'll be giving out some Xbox beta codes. So anybody that wants to play on the Xbox, if you don't have a code yet, what's a good keyword? Do you guys have any suggestions for keywords in chat? And I'll look through and see. Any good suggestions for a keyword to give out for our first Xbox beta code giveaway? I see one, I see winner, I see Dow. You know, I like Dow. Dorifto. Dorifto is a good one. I want to make it a little bit easier for everybody to, not need to really remember how to spell it, so that I don't forget how to spell it. All right, so the keyword in chat is going to be hashtag DAO. Again, I'm going to be doing this on Mixer and on Twitch, so it doesn't matter which platform you're on. I'll be giving them away on both. Let me just set this up real quick. It's going to be hashtag DAO. All right. So put in hashtag DAO on Mixer or Twitch, whichever platform you're looking at, and I will see about drawing them. And hopefully, it's been a while, I set it up correctly on Twitch. So let's see, do we got people saying hashtag DAO? All right, I see entries going in. So while we're doing that, I will answer some questions. I don't have an answer, Rocco, for how many servers are in Latin America, but I can say that there are servers across the world. One thing the dev wants to do is kind of like help out with the latency. So there are servers all across the world. We'll take a look at how you guys are performing, how things are working, and we can always make adjustments, you know, later date, depending on how that goes. Anubis wants to know, do the beta codes last longer than the other ones? They will get you in through the end of the closed beta. They're not going to let you go past when the beta closes down, if that's what your question is. It might not be, but... So remember, hashtag DAO, whether you're on Twitch or Mixer, and I will be picking, I don't know how many, we'll see how many entries we get, for Xbox beta keys. What'll happen is after this stream is over, I'll talk to you on whichever platform it is to give you those keys. And hello for everybody who might just be tuning in now. It's great seeing you guys here. Just checking if I missed any. Doesn't seem like it. All right, so while we're doing that, I'm going to show you what's probably one of my favorite things, and that's the customization. I talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, we've got carts, we have different carts here. We've got, you can choose whether they're speed mode, item, you can select whichever one you want. I'm going to stick with cotton. There's two different ways to customize. You have your parts, so you can choose how the front looks. You can choose how the side looks. Here's a license plate. And once you unlock different license plates, you can choose your license plate. There's a couple of boosters in here. So this is fun. But the real fun part are the wraps. So when you go in here, there's a couple of different things you can do. I set this one up a little bit so that I could go in. So we're going to set up a new wrap. There's two different things. There's paint and there's decal. Paint is easy. You go in, you can choose what color you want. Up here it tells you the different channels. So you can see channel 2 is kind of like the trim. Channel 1 is more of this the main body of the cart. You can choose whatever color for the trim. You can turn it. You can see how it looks on different sides. When you're done, you can either hit save or escape if you decide that you don't like it. So I'm going to save it. This way I have my nice pink cotton cart. Then when I'm done, I can go back. Let's see. Don't forget, hashtag DAO to be entered for Xbox codes. And then the second thing are decals. You can choose where you want to put them. Front, right, left, rear. It'll kind of show you where it is. I'm going to do it on the right just because I can. And then that opens up so that you have different shapes. So once you do that, you can see this here is that kind of like crescent that I looked at. You know, so you can play with different things. You can go back if this isn't exactly what you want. You know, choose a decal. You can pick the color. So if I want just like this purple line, you can adjust the width using the keyboard. So here you go, I'm making it bigger. You know, you can change it however it is you want, using the different controls, figuring out the best way that it looks. Once you're done, once you're happy with the color, the position, how it looks, you can just go ahead and apply it. You know, you can apply different ones. You can see that I have a couple. When you're finished, just hit complete, and then there you go. Your cart is designed, ready for taking out on the track. So no, the paint option doesn't need to be unlocked. You can't do, I believe you can't do the paint for every cart. So depending on which cart you're using, it may not be available. Like I don't believe the paint works on some of the item mode carts, but you can definitely use it cotton. You can go some of the other speed carts, play with it, have fun, paint it, put the decals, the wraps on, kind of make the cart your own. I saw one picture where they did kind of like red and black with cool looking, almost like spider webs. I have a friend who made a cart that's pink and he put little bear decals on it. Little green bear decals, which is really kind of cool. So I think that we're probably at the point where I can go ahead and pick a couple of draws for Mixer and Twitch. So I'll start with Mixer because that's right here. Again, this is for the Xbox beta code. I'll be contacting you after the stream is done. So the first one, congratulations on Mixer DDPL. The Real Leaf Blower Toter. I think that's how you say your name. I apologize, I'm really bad with names. And then we'll do one more, Taro 20,000. Congratulations, all of you. You've won Xbox beta codes. So I will be contacting you when it's done to give you those codes. Now, let's see how Twitch works. Oh, oops, I apologize. That was on Twitch. I got my giveaway bots mixed up. So this is for Xbox or Mixer, and for Mixer it looks like it's LL Hopper LL. Congratulations, you won a set of Xbox codes. All right, any questions? Okay. All right, so if there's any questions about how this works, let me know. And I will be more than happy to kind of go back through it again. We'll just kind of quit out. I'm okay with that. And then back. I've got my pink cart. That's really all that I want. I'm a girl of few needs, and those needs are all pink cart. No, there is no NDA for streamers. The game isn't under NDA, which means that you can go out and play as much as you would like without needing to worry about any of that. Now we're going to do time attack. The reason why I'm going to do time attack is another new thing that came in for this are the different tracks that we did. So last beta, we had our ice tracks. We had a couple of ice tracks. We had our village tracks. And then here's our forest tracks. This beta, we've actually introduced different themes. So you kind of saw at the very beginning, we now have desert tracks. We have our graveyard tracks, which are one of my favorite tracks is in there. But in addition to that, based off the feedback we got from the first beta, we have other maps too. More, I'm going to say challenging maps. You know, if you compare something like Lumberjack Lane, which is really just a square, still fun, especially in item mode. And it doesn't show that, you know, there's like tree trunks that you need to go around, and there's, if you crash into things, you can make the animals do crazy stuff. But it's still a very easy track. So because your feedback was you wanted to be a little bit more challenged, we have things like Boom Hill Tunnel, which is definitely a bit more complicated in terms of there's different shortcuts that you can take, there's different routes, there's a lot of, you know, corners that you can get stuck on, narrow lanes. So these are really kind of cool, fun, challenging tracks for those that want a little bit more of a challenge. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to start one of these tracks. We're going to start with Boom Hill Tunnel because I want to show you guys what these tracks are like, and especially point out that bit of a shortcut because it is in there, but it's something that's cool to see. I'm going to take the tracks relatively slow. I'm not going to worry really about drifting or using my booster gauge or anything like that because I really kind of want to show what the track is. So you start off with kind of like I'm from Northeast, so it's a rotary. So you have to go around and then you have to take this path. You're going to get to the tunnel, which is what the track is named after. You go in here, you're going to want to be careful of these columns because ramming into one of them, one is going to slow you down. But if you saw my booster gauge down at the bottom there, ram into it, depending on how fast you're going, you'll actually lose some of that booster gauge. Then you've got this nice, windy, narrow corridor, which is super easy when you're not doing anything or going very fast, but gets much more, I'm going to say, challenging, especially for me since I like to pinball around the tracks, once you've got other racers on there. So we're just going to go around, wind around, hit all the things, nice narrow. It doesn't stay this narrow the entire time, but it is definitely a bit more narrow. Gotta watch out for the corners. Most people would be using their speed boost. Now we're gonna come up here. I'm just gonna slow down, stop a little bit. There's this ramp. Now, you're gonna wanna use this. You can kind of, when you do it right, there is an actual shortcut here. So you can actually land more on this sidewalk, which cuts off a little bit of distance, a little bit of time, which helps you out a little bit. As you can tell, I'm not particularly great at that shortcut at all. Then we're going to go around, nice sharp corners, quick corners. This is going to be the next shortcut. You can see on the mini map, you can either go around the long way, or, especially if you have a nitro boost, you can use your nitro boost here, and it's going to put you into this alley. Keep going straight once you've hit that alley. Go around the next corner. Here's your next one. Again, on the minimap, you can go around, or using the nitro boost, you can make a nice little shortcut there. That helps save so much time, and it's really easy, at least for me, to get lost going the wrong way in that section if you miss one of those shortcuts. And then here you are. You're done. You made it to the end of the track. Let's see. Questions. See what questions we have here. So, Victor, you put some playtime in, discovered that drifting is detrimental. So, drifting is one of those things that as you drift, you're going to lose speed. So, if you've got no boost, if you've got nothing else going, doing a drift, you're going to lose speed. How you help, I'm going to say offset that, although it may not be quite the right word, is you want to use your nitro boost. So fill up your booster gauge, which fills up faster when you're drifting. So fill that up and then go ahead and drift while using that. So use a nitro boost and then drift. The nitro boost gives you that nice burst of speed, and then drifting will slow you down some. There's also different types of drifts that you can do. An optimized drift where you keep your track lines very parallel. That'll help you to not lose as much speed around corners, so it's easier to recover. You can do short drifts, which are what they say, really short drifts. That's just like a quick little turn. It's good for finishing off the booster gauge so that you don't waste any of that drift. You don't waste any of the finishing the booster gauge. And that helps, you lose some speed, but you don't lose as much because you're not going. If you're just in item mode or if you don't have a nitro boost, yes, sometimes it is actually a little bit quicker to just go around the curve the way that you normally would because you're not losing speed from the drift. The other thing is that when you're done drifting, and I'll show you in the next one, because I want to go through the different maps. But when you're done drifting, as soon as your drift ends, if you take your finger off the accelerator key and then put it back on, so either the right trigger or the up arrow, if you haven't rebound any of your keys, that gives you a little bit of boost, bring back some of the speed that you lost by drifting. Hopefully that makes sense. So the next one is a really fun map. It's a glacier map. It's Extreme Stadium. This is another one that was introduced based off of player feedback because I wanted something a little bit more challenging. So can you get a drift from being behind another racer? It's not really a drift, it's a draft or a slipstream. So if you're behind another racer for, I think it's about 5 seconds, then you end up gaining a burst of speed, which you can use to sometimes overtake the person that's in front of you. You know, so you draft, just like how drafting usually works. You get that little bit of a draft and then a burst of speed at the end. So Extreme Stadium. Again, I'm going to go through it relatively easily. You have this cool tunnel. I love the graphics that they've done. You have to watch out for a whole bunch of corners and relatively narrow. I'm going to use my boost here just because it's fun. So the U-turns are awesome. I don't know if you saw or not that I end my boost and then I press the accelerate again and I've got that little bit of a burst. So then this is where it gets to be fun. You've got a series of U-turns that are happening. Maybe I will have to drift. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier. So you have these nice fun U-turns. You had a couple of jumps. The second jump, you can actually turn your cart before the jump so that you're facing more of the correct direction, the way that you want to go. And then that's it. So it's a fun little map. You know, the challenge is the fact that there's so many curves, and while it's not quite as narrow as it was in Boom Hill Tunnel, it's still easy to kind of like do that pinball. I'm trying to pinball and I can't do it because I'm not going fast enough. It is pretty easy to pinball back and forth. It's also really easy to bounce off of these pillars that are in the middle of the tunnel. You know, it's just, for this one, it's all about keeping control of the cart, especially as you go around the corners, so that you don't do what I do all the time and hit every wall in existence. Because bumper carts is fun. So practice. It doesn't have the shortcuts in the same way that Boom Hill Tunnel have. In this one, it's more about, you know, you go around these corners. This last one here, I usually go all the way up here because I'm worried about falling in the middle. But with the booster, if you're actually using a nitro booster, then you might be able to cut off a little bit of distance, which is just enough sometimes to let you get ahead of the person that's in front of you. So, yes, Victor, the speed boost, that little bit of a boost that you get at the end, it doesn't exactly propel you, you know, the same way that a loss of speed. The thing with drifting and kart is that it's about drifting, it's about using the nitro boost in a way so that you're constantly replenishing that nitro boost. So when you use a nitro boost, if you're just going straight, that booster gauge doesn't actually fill up at all. So it's only if you're drifting around a corner or drifting using like cutting drift on a straight line that using the nitro boost will actually fill your booster gauge. So if you were to just compare two carts going in a straight line, you know, one drift in, one drive in straight, the speeds will be different, but overall throughout the entire match, using the drifts, using the nitro boost, using the booster gauge to its kind of full potential will actually have you go faster. There are some players out there that can basically drift and boost the entire match, which will be so much faster than somebody just kind of like driving without drifting or boosting at all. I've tried that. I've gone without drifting or boosting, and then I've tried it with the drifts and the boosts. And for me, there's not as much of a time difference between those two as somebody that's really good and has been doing this a lot. That's why speed mode in particular, drifting, it's easy to do, but it's hard to master. It's something that takes a lot of time and kind of like, I'm going to say a bit of trial and error for somebody that's new to really figure out how to get those to work together so that the loss of speed while drifting is compensated by the nitro boost that you have. So hopefully that makes sense. Feedback, yes, you can go ahead, you can put the feedback on the forums, you can put the feedback on Discord, the Nexon forums, Steam forums. We collect it all, we show it to the dev team. They're really interested in your feedback and what you guys think of the game, because it's you guys that are going to help make this game awesome and amazing. So, all right. I think at this point, because who doesn't like doing a giveaway, I think I'm going to try doing another giveaway, Twitch and Mixer. This time it's going to be for Steam codes. So how about popping in chat what you think the giveaway code will be this time around? Will I get those set up now? So again, this giveaway here is going to be for Steam codes. For anybody that's on Steam codes, we're going to take a look, see the number of players that we get, give out some of those, kind of like have fun. And hello to everybody that's just kind of tuning in now. So, codes. I see Diz. I see Kansai Doritos. Let's do, since we've been talking about it, let's do drifting. Let's have drifting be our keyword this time around. So it'll be hashtag drifting. We'll try doing it on both Mixer as well as on Twitch. So pop it into chat now, hashtag drifting. That's going to be our keyword for some Steam codes. And once the stream is over, I will be giving them out then. So what's the chat in here? Probably drifting. Yay, I'm happy to hear that people are playing and they're enjoying it. What parts are you guys enjoying the most? Again, for me, I love customizing my characters, my carts, so I really love that part. But what else are you guys? So there's a question, can cars attack or is it racing skill only? It depends on your mode. So there's two different modes. We have item mode, which the carts don't actually attack, but the items that you pick up will let you attack other players. And then there's speed mode. And speed mode is all about driving, racing, drifting, using that booster gauge, using the nitro boost to, their fullest to the best advantage. Yeah, that is fair enough, Victor. That's partly why we have the racing school, especially in the intermediate. That goes into a little bit more about different ways to use drifting, how do you, a little bit of that. We do want your feedback, especially for people if this is your first time playing KartRider Drift. Do we do enough to help you figure out how to drift, to know when to let go of the drift key, when to use it, when to use different types of drifts, or that's something we still need to work at. So please do leave us that feedback. It is super important. I'm trying to help explain some of the stuff in the game. But believe me, when I first started off, I had no clue what I was doing either, and it was definitely faster for me to just race without drifting, without doing anything, than it was to actually try to drift. All right, so we're gonna let this go. I think we'll let this go while we play the last map that was introduced specifically based off of player feedback, another little more challenging ones. This one is both fun and frustrating for me in almost equal measures, I would say. So this is the new desert map. So desert, like I said before, it's a new theme that came in, construction chaos. I think you can hear a little bit the sounds of construction in the background. So again, gonna take it slow, let you see some of the graphics, hopefully not crash too many times, because I am really good at that. So there's a little bit of narrow corridors, a little bit. It's not too bad. Definitely very twisty map, or track. Oop, there we go. You know, this first part is pretty easy, especially for people that aren't me and don't have a tendency to hit every wall in creation. My favorite game mode, if they ever came up with it, would be bumper carts. So here is where we're getting to the end of this, and we're getting into more of the construction zone. So you'll see that there's sharp 90-degree turns. We do have a U-turn here. Oops. It's not quite as easy without the drifting, so I'm just going to drift for that. So a couple of U-turns to go up levels, back to these sharp 90-degree turns that usually, let's see if I can do that, you can drift around. I'll jump here. I just went straight this time. Next time around, I'll go through and I'll actually turn while jumping. This is the pain one because you can see from, back up a little bit, you can see from the signpost I give you what it is that you're going to have to do. So it's going to be 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, really quick, and then you kind of come back up here, have a little bit more space, you know, a couple more 90-degree turns, but they're not quite as much in quick succession as back in that little section there. One last little jump back to an open area, and then you are right back to where you started at the starting line. And then remember, while I'm doing this, don't forget to put the keyword drifting in chat and we'll pick some winners. We'll just go through the second one. Again, this part, as long as you control your cart, control going around the curves, it's not that bad. Usually I can get a pretty decent showing here, sometimes even a lead first place. Now this is a little bit of a quick turns, but generally it's not too bad. Don't get fooled back in that section. You can actually go straight. Now we're getting back into our quick 90-degree turns, a couple of U-turns as we go up the hills. Boost health, so just be a little bit careful. I have a tendency when I'm doing those to mess up the boost because I end up going too fast and then I just ram into a wall. Alright, so then this one here, you can actually turn, do that drift as a jump. It'll help get you going in the right direction. Sometimes I actually manage to do it so that you don't hit a wall. You have these nice quick turns there. You can drift around them. You just have to be careful to not do what I'm doing and bump into every wall. Let's see, yeah, do it more like that so that you get a nice little drift around the corner without doing all the way into a wall. And then it finishes off easily. Just right here, I'll use a little bit of a boost to get to the end. And then we are done. Alright. So Galavins wants to know, am I one of the devs? I am not a dev. I don't actually do any development on the game. I'm the community manager for KartRider Drift. So I'll take your questions, I'll try to get you answers, give your feedback to the dev team, kind of like all around a help out person, I guess. That's a good enough answer for what a community manager is. So I think we can go ahead and pick some winners now. So these are for Steam codes. I'm gonna draw some entrants. Twitch first this time since I now remember which bot does what, which I forgot last time around. I apologize for that. So the first one, Don Vuden. Congratulations. These are for some Steam codes. And then we have Papa Gaming. Congrats. Nymphete. And I apologize for anybody that I butcher your name. It's not intentional. Unfortunately, sometimes that just kind of happens. Then One Hill. Congratulations to those 4 winners. I'm going to contact you after the stream is done to get you some Twitch codes. Then let's see. I'm trying to see if anybody... Doesn't look like anybody participated in Mixer. My bot is not giving me any eligible giveaways. But I'll go back after the stream is done, see if there were any that the bot's just not picking up on. And I'll contact you afterwards for some stream codes. For some Steam codes even. Whew. Yeah, hashtag drifting was the entry. Alright, yes, congratulations all of the winners. And since we're towards the end of the stream anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and say let's do the next giveaway. So we'll do the last giveaway that I have for today, the Nexon launcher codes. For that one, we did Dow, we did drifting. Let's do Diz. So our giveaway this time is going to be for Nexon launcher codes for anybody that wants to join the beta, the Nexon launcher. And it's going to be hashtag Diz, our new character. So you can kind of try to get some codes to play as her. So we're going to create that. Try doing it in both, and I apologize, Mixer, if I'm doing this wrong and it's not working. But put hashtag Diz in chat for Twitch and for Mixer, and I'll get you guys some codes. See what questions we might have. So Diz is D-I-Z. There's only one Z in Diz. There's not two. Let's see. All right, so while that's happening, I'll show you one more map, mostly because this is my absolute favorite map. I love this map. It's amazing when you're playing by yourself, but it's even more fun when you're playing with other racers. Wayward Turnabout. It's a graveyard map, so it's going to be a little bit darker than you see some of the others because it's a graveyard. The cool thing about this map, you can see, I think you can see on the minimap, I don't think I'm not blocking it, which is good. But this map, you start off at one end, you go to the other, you turn around a little roundabout, and you go back the way you were coming. So it's very possible, especially as racers get spread out, that as you're going back towards the finish line, you're going to run into, sometimes literally, racers going away from the finish line. We'll hop into the map so I can kind of show it. The other thing about this track is it's not particularly wide at most locations, which means that it is really easy to literally run into other racers. So you can see this is how wide it is. It narrows down for the bridge. So imagine two racers going opposite directions along that bridge. So we're going to come up here. Now once you're here, you can see that there's two different ways you can go. Doesn't matter which way you go, you just need to make it all the way around and go back out the other way. If you try to, sneak by, not go all the way around, maybe you're starting to go around, you got hit by another cart, and you just went back the way you came, that doesn't actually count. You need to go all the way around that loop and go back out the other way. Again, doesn't matter which way you go. You can go on the left, you can go on the right. Just be aware that whichever way you go, especially if it's against other racers, you might crash into them as everybody's trying to get around that loop. This mode is fun on speed. It's just about pure racing. Try not to crash into other people, especially with those hills. But you can also use it for item mode. And a fun fact for item mode, don't ask me how I've done it, but I've managed to water bubble myself. Yep, you heard that right. One of the items is a water bubble. You throw the water bubble a distance in front of you, and then anybody inside of it gets stuck. Usually it's quite a bit of a distance away from your cart, so you don't need to worry about water bubbling yourself and getting stuck in it. This track, especially when you're towards close to either end, how it works is you can actually drop the water bubble close enough to where you are that you water bubble yourself. So anybody that manages to do that, let me know on Discord. Mostly so that I don't feel like I'm the only one. Now we're on the last little bit heading back. So make sure you put in hashtag Diz in to try to get some Nexon launcher keys so that you can join us in KartRider Drift closed beta. There's a lot of cool things. Hopefully I showed you some of the new features that are here, that are exciting, that are fun. Didn't really do much gameplay, but I just kind of want to show off, some of the cool new tracks that we have, how to change the carts, the characters, go through the racing pass, definitely unlock the premium lane. It's free, so you may as well go through, unlock it. You get to try out everything that's in there, and you also get to try out all those premium challenges, which are just kind of like a nice little perk. I love missions and quests too, so having them is really kind of cool. Grim Reaper, yes, you can stream the game. There's no NDA, so feel free to stream to your heart's content. Do it as much as you would like. We love watching our streamers, so hopefully we'll be able to, catch you in action. All right, see if there's any last questions here before I draw the last set of winners. Looks like people are talking about different items, which is definitely cool. Use them, practice them. Racing School goes over some of the different items, what it is they do. There's, some meta around when to use them. Sometimes holding on to that last little missile at the end of the race means that you can shoot the person in first place and kind of like sneak in for the win. I have a tendency to not hold on to them, and I end the race with shields, which doesn't help me get in front of the first place person. So there's a question about vanity license or certifications. There's no, I think you're talking about in the original KartRider, there's the license system where you get the little license. There isn't that. So you're not going to get a certification for passing the different things, like a license. This is just more of an expanded tutorial, the Racing School, to help you learn a little bit more in depth about some of the different characteristics of KartRider Drift. All right. Let's see. So we are going to roll to do giveaways. Gonna do Twitch first. So we have Callum Kim, and again, these are for Nexon Launcher beta keys, which I'll be contacting you after the stream is done. Then we have Gallivant. Congratulations to Gallivant on the codes. And then, we've got Juan Hill. You're going to get Steam and Nexon Launcher. And then one more, Tarmon. We've got Tarmon as well. So congratulations to all of the winners for this one as well as the previous ones that we did. Let's see if Mixer is playing nice with me. Mixer is still not playing nice, so I'll go through the Mixer chat afterwards. Anybody that participated, I'll contact you after the stream is done. So hopefully the stream was helpful. You see a little bit more about what's happening. One thing I didn't talk about, there is a custom race. So we did matchmake, we did single player, but you can also create your own race, decide on the map, decide how you want to do it. And then you can invite people to come and play with you. So that's really kind of cool. It's another way, especially with friends, if you want to test out different tracks with friends or just race up against people that you know. All right. One last. Nope, it seems like there are no more questions. I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. And I will see you on the track. Bye, guys.